Hi, I'm Nancy Andrews, along with Joe Brennan for This Week at the Capitol. Joe, big day yesterday. The legislature was back in session for a special session. Give us an update, please.
Well, I think as people know, the state unions rejected the concession package that leadership had worked out with the governor's office. So that left about a $1.6 billion hole over the next two-year budget. The legislature met last night, and in order to help close that gap, they gave the governor expanded rescission authority. Now, what that means is, under current law, any governor is allowed to make certain cuts without going back to the legislature. But given the size of the gap, that power wasn't enough, so they went up to 10% cuts across the board into different agencies that the governor has the authority to do between now and September 30th. There's also language in there that says the legislature has the right to review those cuts, have public hearings on them, and accept them or just let them go into effect. So that's basically how they're saying now they're going to close this $1.6 billion gap.
What about state employee layoffs?
Well, the governor has said that there could be anywhere from 6,000 to 7,000 layoffs to help close the deficit. What a lot of the talk in the legislature last night was that people are still hopeful that the state unions throughout the summer will either change their rules to have this concession package approved or try to negotiate some changes to it and then have that approved. So what they have done is give the unions till August 31st to try to come up with a concession package. And in fact, there's language in the bill that if the unions do agree on a concession package, then all these cuts and layoffs would not go forward. One of the concerning things last night in listening to the debate was particularly on the Democratic side when they were talking about layoffs, so much concern over the possibility of maybe 7,500 people being laid off. And we don't want to see anybody laid off. It hurts, even if there's one layoff. But we probably heard more talk about the harm of layoffs last night than we heard the entire session about the fact that over 100,000 people in the private sector have lost their jobs. The majority of those haven't found jobs yet. So there's vast concern over protecting state jobs and, frankly, much less concern and much less action around people in the private sector trying to find employment.
Okay, and of course today's July 1st. Largest tax increase in state history goes into effect.
A lot of different components, particularly the sales tax changes, the rate going from 6 to 6.35%, going up to 7% on so-called luxury goods, a whole host of new services being subject to tax, all goes into effect today. The corporate tax changes and personal income tax changes go back to January 1st. Frankly, where we are on July 1st is that we've got about $2 billion a year in tax increases, and so far no major changes to the structural problems that are facing the state of Connecticut. Some of the changes that the governor has put in streamlining state agencies go into effect today, so there's some positive news there. But as far as really addressing state employee benefit packages, the unfunded liabilities for health care and pensions, all the things that are really affecting or could potentially affect Connecticut's bond rating still haven't been addressed. So we're hopeful over the summer that there can be more action to get the state's fiscal house in order so we can start having greater confidence in the private sector that Connecticut's a good place to invest.
Okay, thanks, Joan. We'll keep everyone updated on our homepage at CBIA.com.
We will do that.